Morning, everybody. We'll just give everybody a few minutes before we start.
Hey, Carlton, we got your message. No problem. Good luck tonight. And the meeting is being recorded, so you can go back and watch it.
I'm going to start, Eric, I'm going to begin the language interpretation channels. And our language interpreter has added the announcement in the chat. So Azuka, if you want to begin.
Thank you, Medea. Would you like to pull up the presentation? Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening to the Superintendent's Advisory Team meeting. Thank you again for joining us. This meeting is being recorded and will be available to watch at a later date once captioning is available. Public can view this meeting, but they will not be able to comment or ask questions. We will take all of your questions at the end of the presentation. So we'll get started with that. Medea, next slide, please. On today's agenda, we have campus and building operations, site and building access, budget and schedule review, and Q&A session at the end. Next slide. As you're all aware, the Alexandria City High School offers multiple campuses. The Minnie Howard and King Street campuses offer general and elective classes. The satellite campus offers general and elective classes in an online fashion, and Chance for Change offers classes in general and elective classes in an alternative setting. The class schedules are going to be offered as 4x4 or as a variation of it. Early College Campus is in exploration phase currently, and it's in progress. The campus transitions for students, they were going to be as needed basis to access their classes on their schedule, with most of the switches happening during the lunch and learn session. And the staff are working on schedule that allows the transition time from campus to campus the most efficient way during the other periods. Next slide, please. The Minnie Howard building operations will be approximately from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. With subject to change depending on subject offerings and other items. The field operating hours are approximately from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. Excuse me, sorry about that. And then security will be managed by ACPS security. The aquatic facility will be are still under discussion with the city, and we will continue our discussion for the management as well, and we will develop an MOU to finalize the operations, management, and maintenance of it. Next slide, please. On the slide, we wanted to talk through the traffic patterns of the campus. As you're aware, the campus is located along Braddock Road. All of the entrances and exits are off Braddock Road. The parent drop-off and pickup loop is located on the east side of the campus. That's shown in dashed blue line. And the bus loop is located parallel to Braddock Road, shown in orange dashed line. Additional parking, dedicated parking is available on the southwest side of the site, which can be accessed through the bus loop. And the bus loop does also allow parking during non-drop-off hours. Next slide, please. On this slide, we wanted to zoom into the entrance to the east parking lot, which is the same as the parent drop-off and pickup entrance and exit. Here, we're proposing a additional third lane, two-way left turn lane, as well as limited use traffic signal. The traffic signal will be operating as a regular traffic signal during drop-off pickup times, and will be flashing yellow during all other times, just like you've seen, as you have seen next to Francis Hammond Middle School. Next slide, please. On this slide, we wanted to briefly go over the parking availability on the site. In the larger purple section, you're seeing the dedicated 153 spaces on the east side of the campus. And on the southwest side of the site, you're seeing additional 20 spaces, dedicated parking spaces. And in the blue section, you're seeing the 49 spaces that are going to be doubled as parking spaces during non-drop-off pickup hours. We have made some corrections to the numbers on this slide compared to what we have presented to our community meeting, and we made the corrections with the right parking space numbers. Next slide, please. The school building offers two main entrances to the school on the first level, one right off of Braddock Road side, shown in the red arrow, and another one from southeast side of the building, again shown in a red arrow. In a blue arrow from the Braddock side, you're seeing an entrance to the Early Childhood Center. And then in a blue arrow from the east side of the building, you're seeing dedicated entrance to the Teen Wellness Center, as well as the Family Resource Center run by DCHS. As the site slopes down to the east, the entrance from the west side of the building is on the second floor, indicated with red arrow. And the blue arrow from the west courtyard shows the dedicated entrance to the aquatic facility, as well as the gymnasium above. Next slide, please. The cafeteria functions for the school are broken down in a few sections. The main kitchen is located on the first floor, and additional distributed dining will be available on the second, third, and fourth floor of the building. ACPS is still exploring what those distributed dining options are. It could be pizza cafe or taco bar or coffee station, and all of those are being explored at the moment. Next slide, please. This slide shows the tabulation of various spaces that are available on the campus. The users are ACPS, Alexandria Health Department, DCHS, and RPCA. On the second column, you're seeing dedicated spaces for each user group. For example, Teen Wellness Center or Health Department. And then on the third column, you're seeing the shared spaces such as gymnasium, aquatic facility, and exterior fields and courts. On the fourth column, you're seeing the space access availabilities. Again, direct accesses are allotted to each co-located partner, such as the Health Department, Teen Wellness Center, DCHS spaces, as well as the gymnasium and aquatic facility. And operational hours are on the last column, and those are still being determined. And next slide, please. A quick reminder on our project budget and cost estimates. We are very close to our budget numbers. Our latest estimate is at 150.7 million for the high school program, 18.1 million for the aquatic facility, 1.1 million for a teen wellness center, and 7.8 million for Department of Community and Human Services spaces. Next slide, please. Project timeline, we are still tracking on schedule. Currently, we're in design phase, shown in purple. The lighter pink section shows we may have potentially gained some time to start the construction slightly earlier, indicating start time of March 2022, this upcoming spring, and still showing delivery of September 2024 school year. Next slide, please. Our upcoming meetings are Planning Commission hearing on January the 4th, City Council hearing on Saturday, January the 22nd, and then we'll have a final meeting early spring of 2022 prior to construction. Next slide, please. Now we can take all of our questions, so we can start the discussion. Erin, would you like to make a quick announcement before we get into the questions?
Yes, thank you, Azuka. So as you all know, our two public hearings for the Planning Commission and the City Council are coming up in January. What really helps with this process is letters from our advisory group in support of the project. I've emailed a couple times about this, and we are still looking for someone to take on writing a letter from the advisory group. If anyone is willing to do that on behalf of the group, we would very much appreciate that. It really does help to move the process forward. So if you are interested in taking on that project, just let me know, and I will connect you with all the information that you need for that. So at this time, we are happy to take questions. So if anyone has a question, they could just raise their hand.
I actually, I have a question about the cafeterias. how much have you guys asked like the actual teachers how they feel about multiple different cafeterias and multiple different levels of a building? Like, I know that they've at the high school, they keep making adjustments to the lunch and learn. And this seems like this could give, this would need to give students a lot of freedom to move around. And right now, the adjustments they're making to lunch and learn is actually giving more restrictions. And so I'm just wondering, like, how that's all going to work out, and if multiple cafeterias really is the way to go. I mean, I think it's really cool, but and an innovative idea, but logistically with teenagers, is that actually doable for our schools?
Erica, did you want to?
Why don't you go ahead? You go ahead.
Okay. So we did have a discussion on this with the school administration team. And as well as we had multiple sessions on this with, I believe with our ED team members as well. I think the main driving force for us to move towards this model is currently, at King Street, we actually used to do just one large cafeteria, and the traffic from students coming down to the space and going back is just enormous amount of traffic. And it's actually, this model allows for students an easier and more efficient way of accessing lunch or food just in general, and offers more variety. We have discussed the sort of the challenge of monitoring the students. And I think there was a positive feedback from the perspective that it would be smaller groups of students. So potentially it would be easier to a certain extent. That's what we have heard from our school admin team. But if you have more questions or comments, happy to discuss.
Well, I mean, I do. So those are the admin. What about the teachers? Have you done a focus group of actually the teachers, the ones that are, it seems like it's going against everything that they tried to set up this year that they keep having to restrict. And you're putting more students in that building than are in Mini Howard now. And I mean, it's a worry on my end. If everyone says go for it, I'm all for it. And I understand the traffic problem with so many students in one cafeteria. I completely understand that. However, there's also, monitoring of students, a lot of students on different floors, of which you need more staff separated on different floors. So it's a worry that I think you need to be conscious of, and would be stuck with if the building is built this way, right?
We are trying to bake in as much as flexibility as possible to the sort of the distributed dining stations. So we could potentially limit it just to certain times as a coffee bar or something like that. So we did heard the concern as well. I think that as the school evolves and the schedule changes, we are exploring the best, most efficient way for all the operating functions for the school. So thank you for bringing it up to our attention. Erica, did you have anything to add?
No, I think that was good. We did do an update to the educational design team on the design, I think a couple months ago. And sorry, my camera wasn't on. And teachers do participate in that, but again, we can bring this back to them. I think it is certainly a different way of thinking, a different way of operating, and we will have to consider how we monitor those spaces during the lunchtime. And I think we have commitment from the education team, including teachers and staff, to be able to do that, but we will certainly bring it back to the group and make sure we're coming up with the best plan of implementing this model.
Erica?
Looks like Mr. Fulton has a question.
Yeah, I wonder if you could go to the screen so we could see one another. I'm looking at cafeteria functions right now. Can we go to the multiple screen?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to stop sharing? Whoever sharing. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah,
Okay.
there we go. There we go.
All right.
Thank you. Since you're gonna, since you have the potential of moving up the construction start, perhaps as early as March of 2022, I wonder if there is going to be a way for neighbors who might be adversely impacted by construction to contact, to get those problems fixed quickly by having some conduit to the construction. So for instance, if there's, for instance, on Van Dorn Street, trucks are not allowed. So the first week that the construction crew begins moving trucks on North Van Dorn Street, or I'm sorry, not Van Dorn Street, but North Early Street, the people there are going to want to contact the construction company and say, that's a no-no, you can't do that. In addition, you're at the top of the hill. So any water or earth or other unanticipated consequences of large-scale construction results in anything flowing down the hill, those neighbors are going to be adversely impacted. So will there be a way for neighbors who are impacted by the construction aspect of this have a way of getting that to people that can make a decision and correct the problem? Erica, maybe you.
I can jump in. I know we have Lauren Doucette too from Gilbane Building
Oh,
Company, who is the actual construction manager on the project. But those, what you've mentioned, Tom, those are things that come up in every construction project, right? We always deal with traffic, we always deal with parking, we always deal with runoff and different issues like that. What we've established in a lot of our projects is making sure we maintain our website, updating our community, and specifically using the advisory group. So even though this is kind of we're nearing the end of our work together, continuing to use you all to be able to send you messages, get construction information out via email. And then we also provide, we'll typically provide the Gilbane superintendent contact for neighbors, because sometimes, going through Aaron to get to me, to get to Azuka, to get to the contractor isn't the quickest way. And so we do try to make sure that you all know who is on that site and stay engaged with the community and involving Gilbane, make sure they're a neighbor, a good neighbor to you all during their time there. Lauren, do you want to speak to anything specifically that Gilbane does related to this?
Sure. I mean, just kind of to echo what Erica said, you'll absolutely be able to reach out to us and our team on site directly and know them as the community surrounding the site. I think they usually have a community liaison. You'll have his cell phone number, his contact information. Will likely be the superintendent or another project or another member of the project team. So, we're respectful that we're in your community and we want to be good neighbors. So we absolutely want to extend a hand, our information, and make sure that, everything goes as smoothly as possible.
Just as a quick follow-up, Erica, is there a parking plan that you can share for the construction workers at the job site?
Lauren, you can go ahead.
Sure. So we have a site logistics plan. So on the job site itself, we'll probably have a limited amount of area for parking. So we can show that on the job site, and we'll show that at subsequent community meetings. And a lot of times, like that amount of parking, right, will depend on what's going on the site. If we have a lot of materials we're storing, there'll be less parking spots. That being said, we'll find offsite solutions for our subcontractors if that's the case, and we'll write that into their subcontracts. So if they don't have parking on the site, we'll have an offsite solution for them, and we'll arrange all that.
It's a requirement in the city of Alexandria that contractors cannot park on on public parking, even if it's legal, even if they're legally parked, they can't park on residential streets. And that's with all of our projects. So Gilbane will have to work with us too.
Erica, in this instance, you're going to have an active school population at the same time you have an active construction site in a city that's overflowing with cars and doesn't have a lot of parking. So this one may provide kind of a special case for you as opposed to shutting down schools and opening and beginning construction. I mean, you're doing both at the same time. You're going to be balancing two very difficult parking scenarios simultaneously on the same location.
Yes,
And so a contract to park on an off-site, I'm at a loss for where that might be.
Yeah,
Anyway,
and
thank you.
we do, just so you know, Tom, we do have experience with that at Patrick Henry. We had an active school and active construction going on at the same site.
Okay.
And not as much open space room there. I will be honest and say that it didn't start out great, but we worked with the construction management team to make sure that we limited the amount of parking. In that instance, we actually had construction workers park at Francis Hammond, and they were shuttled over to Patrick Henry. And we'll work with Gilbane to establish something similar. There are parking garages available throughout the city. They might look at something like that. So those are the types of things that we will do, and certainly providing that contact neighbor for when, unfortunately, it's probably unavoidable, but for when one of the subcontractors doesn't do what they need to do and parks in a residential area, to make sure we can get it resolved as soon as possible.
There will be also the parking for the school will be preserved during the construction, so that there should be still parking available for the school functions.
Mr. Gonzalez has a question.
Either could you go back to the slide, I guess the site plan slide, just to see what the drop-off pickup areas look like and access?
Medea, probably the ones with the, yep, there you go.
Yeah. And I'm assuming under all those trees, there's room for the kids to walk on Braddock Road if they need to, or will have to. Because I remember, I think we talked about this a while ago, but I don't recall what the outcome was.
Mr. Gonzalez, is your question, is there like a path along Braddock Road for pedestrians and students?
Yeah.
Yes, there is. You're seeing in kind of like a dotted line, that's the, and it will be a widened sidewalk. So that's, it's all along the whole campus.
And what kind of, I guess, vehicle control, for lack of a better word, will there be at that sidewalk when the buses and the cars are coming in and out? Because that could be challenging, I would say. I mean,
It is
ahead.
it's at a like it's a curb height, so as opposed to the the driveways in, it'll be more of from the same elevation as the road that's coming in. So
If I can, oh, sorry, Azuka.
go ahead.
Sorry, if I could just elaborate. So on the east side, where it's the parent drop off and the staff parking, that will be a light during the peak times.
That was the next slide that you had. Is that
yes.
okay?
So that'll be signaled. So students will be able to cross there. I'm sure we'll have support as well, given the size of the high school and what we currently have. And then at the bus loop, that'll be something we have to manage as well. But the buses are only coming in one entrance and exiting the other.
Right.
There should be significant visibility, and students most likely that are coming into that front door entrance, which is east of that. So but that may be another point that we have to manage with staff or something like that.
Maybe some signage.
Yep.
But definitely live folks will be good too. And then the question about the next slide that had that traffic signal, it's, you're only going to use it during peak hours, or is that what you said?
Yes, we will be using it during drop-off and pickup times when the school is functioning. That's correct. It's very similar setup to what we have at Francis Hammond Middle School.
And it's what, a yellow flashing other times?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Kadir has a question.
Yes, hi, good evening. If you can go to the slide before this one, the previous one. I just wanted to know about the CISC car path and a bus path. I was wondering, you mean the buses have to be more towards the field rather than the car, right? So the kids does not have to cross the parking lot to get to the buses. Is that right? Is I'm reading the plan right?
So the buses will park sort of diagonally to the pedestrian walkway that you're seeing in
So
dotted
it's
line.
towards the multiple purpose field, right?
Correct. Yes, it's multiple
okay.
purpose. Mhm.
So yeah, because when you look at it, you see the car's line is the blue and the buses are yellow. So it reads as if the cars towards the field rather than the buses.
No, I understand. Yeah, so it's just to show kind of there is an option for cars to go through when the buses are not dropping off or loading. So,
Yeah, and the flashing lights, I think now they have one at Minnie Howard, just like out of the exit of Minnie Howard, and I think that is really working pretty well for the students to cross Braddock. Is that the same one you're going to be using in two different exits, right? For the light, the flashing light, sorry.
No, so I think the one that got put out there now is actually, I don't remember what it's called.
A hawk light.
A hawk light. So is that the pedestrian one?
It should be the pedestrian one because
That's
it's lighted
pedestrian.
across. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
So are you planning to do something for a student who walks and they need to cross the Braddock to get to the school?
Yes, but I believe it's a different type of light. Ken, maybe you can speak to this, or Teresa from our design team.
I mean, if they have one right now, I mean, I guess we gotta have to add one extra one for, the same purpose.
I think that there is maybe similar to the hawk light, but once the students approach the school, they can activate a button that will trigger the light to function and stop cars.
Yeah, it's mainly pedestrian. So
Yeah.
So I mean, if there's one there, I mean, we maybe add one or two more for students who are coming from both sides, east or west, so they can cross. I mean, because if you see the existing situation with traffic in that area is very congested. I mean, in King Street rather than Minnie Howard, parents just line up on Braddock towards the street, and then who are leaving the school from and getting to Braddock, it's always a lot of cars stopping there. So there's turning left and someone turning right. There's a lot of traffic in that area. So maybe if we add two more, that will help that the student crossing, because it's kind of scary when you cross there.
I think one of the things too that's important to know about this plan that's different from the existing plan is that we're moving that front door of the building far east, closer to that new curb cut that will be lit and with the controls, as Teresa mentioned. So a lot of what happens at Minnie Howard now is you do have parents lining up on the correct side of West Braddock Road, on the north side of West Braddock Road. But then I think what you're referring to, Ms. Kadir, is also the parents who stop maybe on the opposite side of the road, and it creates unsafe conditions. But with the light at the east side near the front entrance and at the west side that the city put in, kind of right outside our property, all the way over by the fields. Any students coming to the site should have access to be able to cross at the point that they need to. So it won't be as much of this parent stopping in the middle of the road, because in the middle of the site now is really the field and the bus path, and that's not where students are going to want to go. They're going to need to go into the building. So I think that what the team has proposed is resolving a lot of those pedestrian issues that exist out there right now.
It's just now in the new design, you have the drop off is actually driving into the parking and then turning around and leaving.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Right.
So there would be a light for the parents who are leaving the building from the east side. If they're turning left in Braddock or turning right, there'll be, because there's an island there I can see in the plan. So there's no way for you to cross straight down.
We'll be removing that island and developing a dedicated left turn lane when you're going east on Braddock Road.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm looking at the one in Braddock itself down where you have a circle. Yeah, this one. So you cannot turn left here. You have to go right, and somehow you do a U-turn or something, right? So that will.
No, this
No.
drawing has not been updated for
Oh,
the
okay.
detail that's showing in the subsequent slide. So that's why it's a little confusing. Sorry.
Okay. So just thinking about this area is gonna, I don't know how did you design it now, but it just to release a little bit of the traffic and the congestion may happen in that area. Because there's
Yeah.
also public transportation there as well.
Yeah, that's the reason that median has been cut in the detail shown on that next slide, is to give some traffic control and safety. Right.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So we're removing the median
Mm-hmm.
to create this intersection.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not seeing any other raised hands. Oh, Mr. Gonzalez has another question.
Just real quick, where is the Dash bus stop here? Where is that shown? There it is.
There's no Dash bus. The Dash is on North Early Street. There's no Dash down Braddock Road.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Gonzalez, did you have another question?
No, I'm good. Sorry, I was just trying to lower my hand.
No problem. It
Thanks.
can be hard on these.
Thank you.
Were there any other questions? I'm not seeing any other hands, Azuka.
All right. Thank you very much for everyone participating and for your questions and comments. We'll be looking for your support during our hearings in January. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Too.